Hello, welcome to the channel. I'm Mel, this is Backyard Gunner. I want to talk a little bit about accessories in Airsoft. So we're going to start with accessories for weapons, and we might talk about accessories like plate carriers and pouches. So first off, are accessories necessary? Like, are they needed? No, they're not needed. But they look cool, and sometimes they can actually have a purpose and a bit of practicality, such like torches. Obviously, a torch is going to be ideal for either a night game or CQB. Holographic sight has a practicality in CQB in my opinion, but iron sights will work just as well in CQB. A lot of Airsoft, you can basically point and shoot and you will hit who you're trying to hit. Obviously, a scope is probably going to be required on a sniper rifle. This one is, on its lowest setting, has the same capabilities as a ACOG, which is why I've put it on a M4 rather than on a sniper rifle. And B, I also don't actually own an Airsoft sniper rifle. Because you do get people running around with M4s without a stock, sometimes without the buffer tube. People have done that to their guns to make them like a pistol, basically. Yes, a stock is not necessary in Airsoft. A buffer tube is not necessary in Airsoft. You don't actually require it. You may do for some gas weapons, for some replicas that work like the real thing. However, I will still argue that maybe a buffer tube is not necessary. It's not like an actual need as such. Sometimes, like the one on here is, the buffer tube's necessary on there, because it's a rear-wired gun. This one is a front-wired gun, and so the buffer tube theoretically could be taken off. I could put a back plate on there and have it just as a shorter rifle, basically. I could stick a short barrel on it and whatnot, and have it as like an AR pistol, and obviously have the magazine adapter and have pistol mags. Like you can have some that take Glock mags, and I have plenty. Well, I have 2 Glock mags, so yeah, you could do that. Grips, are they needed? Probably not. You don't need to be too accurate. Like I said, it's most of Airsoft is point and shoot, and you'll hit. In the real steel world, grips can help with accuracy. We have these on our service rifles, and I personally never use it as a grip. Sometimes I will hold it like this and use it as some kind of support, but I never hold it like an actual grip, really. So I would argue that grips are not needed in Airsoft at all. They just do look cool, and sometimes they can have a purpose, like this one. How's that bipod? If I'm firing over a wall or something, I could maybe mount it. If I'm laying on the ground, I could probably mount that on the bipod. I probably wouldn't, because I'm old-fashioned, and I don't really use grips for what they actually meant to be used for. Hence why I usually have the stubby grip on there, because I don't actually use it as a grip. I just use it as basically a little bit of a hand stop sort of thing. I don't know how to word it. So we'll move on to another accessory that maybe does actually serve a purpose, and that is the sling. Obviously, you're in the safe zone, going to get something to eat, like you're holding a burger or getting a drink, and you require 2 hands. Obviously, sling it down by your side, round your back, down your front, however you want to. If you want to look like a special forces operator, sling that shit down the front. You're going for realism, sling that shit down the back or down the side. I don't give a shit. It's all the same to me. But as I was saying, so, iron sights work, close range, long range, any range, most ranges. The same in the real steel world, but obviously to make you more accurate in the real steel world, you are going to have a sight. We have SUSATs on our rifles at the minute. Obviously, the forces just got extra funding, so they are going to hopefully buy new sights. The Alcan Spectres and ACOGs and all that wonderful shizzles that we actually don't have at the minute. Also, they might upgrade to the A3s, but currently we have the A2s. Anyway, enough with sort of going on to a rant about the forces not having nice things across the board. Yeah, where was I? So, like I say, so torches serve a purpose, scopes may serve a purpose on the right thing. I mean, that would come in handy if I want to look at if the enemy's quite far away. I could have a look through that and then just blast a few rounds downrange, basically. A lot of people change out the triggers. Now, on real firearms, obviously, a trigger has a weight, and what I mean by a weight is the length of pull and how heavy the trigger pull actually is. So you can have things like a 9-pound trigger, which I think, and don't quote me please, because I don't really pay attention to this kind of thing, and it's not a necessity within the forces because you have standard triggers and everything works basically the same. But I think ARs have roughly like a 9-pound trigger. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm not trying to say I know my shit, because I really don't when it comes to that side of firearms. Most of the other stuff I do sort of know. It's mainly the internals of the L85, yes. M4s and that, no. Because we don't use them within the British forces, really. Special forces, yes. The SBS and Royal Marines are getting new things like that. Colt C8s and things that are sort of M4 platforms or AR-15 platforms to civilian market. But yeah, so I think M4s, if I'm not wrong, have like a 9-pound trigger, and obviously in the real steel world, civilians often end up changing that trigger to one with less trigger pull. No, that's not the right word. I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to get the video done pretty quick because want to go to bed and watch some videos and stuff. Not that I don't care about you guys, but I've already done a video for today, and this one wasn't planned, but I wanted to make it because it came to the top of my head and well I remembered. So yeah, triggers. Some people in Airsoft will change out triggers, and I really don't see the other than looking cool. Obviously, doesn't really serve much of a purpose, unless you have all the Gucci internals that you've upgraded to. A lot of people get all Gucci internals and have a speed trigger and all that kind of bullshit. I don't give a shit. A trigger's a trigger to me. I pull it as quick as I can pull it. If you know what I'm saying. That sounded totally wrong and it was out of context and that's not what I meant. But anyway, so handguards stocks in green and whatnot. So, in the UK, if you don't have a UCARA, which is not a licence, and before anyone jumps down my throat, yes it is, no it is not. It's not a licence. It's basically a permission slip from your parents to say, I can own things that look like real guns, because I'm a little twat, and yeah. But anyway, a UCARA is not a licence, it is a defence. As with police ID and military ID. They are both defences for you to buy real imitation firearms. Now, as you guys know, this did not start off as a real imitation firearm. It started off with this handguard and actually that stock. But I've decided to put that stock and this handguard on this gun, which is an M4. That is a Mark 18, and I've changed out the stock for a tan one, and obviously my buddy over at Havoc Squad Airsoft sent me a metal black handguard. Which I actually love, and it makes that look more realistic than it did with this green handguard. Not to say that this green handguard didn't look cool, because you could easily spray some little streaks of black on it, or whatever colour. Excuse me, sorry about that, guys. Normally I would try not to do it on camera, but that was my bad. You could spray some black streaks on it, some grey streaks, whatever, make it look a little bit like foliage and woodland and all that jazz. But handguards obviously do serve a purpose. If you've got something like a short-barreled rifle, as that would be in real life, obviously in the real steel world, you got something like a short-barreled rifle, and you put a you could get a even smaller barrel than that and a smaller handguard and have something really CQB. I could put a longer barrel on this and a longer handguard and have it as a DMR. And basically, that's what I'm kind of using it as at the moment, because I have my CQB, so I have like a DMR kind of build. Obviously, when it actually comes to using this, it can't be used with that handguard because the battery won't fit. Unless I get the stick battery in there. In which case, yeah, eat your heart out. I've kind of gone on to ranting about a few things, and I apologise for that, but yeah. Like muzzle brakes. Now, these are standard bird cage flash hiders, but some people will change those out for really Gucci looking muzzle brakes. In Airsoft, serves no purpose. In the real steel world, muzzle brakes actually discharge some of the discharge is probably the wrong word to use, but it disperses some of that muzzle energy and reduces recoil. I'm probably saying it wrong. I don't know how to word things. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little bit stupid. You guys know that from watching my channel. If you didn't already know that, welcome. But yeah, some people will put muzzle brakes on Airsoft, and there's no need for it. I'd say there's no need for it. I'm not saying that people can't do it. So before anyone jumps down my throat with that one saying, "Oh well, it's up to us," yes, it is up to you. Exactly like mine's up to me. Why have I got green handguard, green stock when I could buy another tan stock and possibly another handguard? Why have I got a blue torch on it? Because that's all I had at the time, and I wanted to put a torch on it. So, like, you guys are able to do what you want to do. I'm obviously able to do what I want to do. And, like I said, I'm not trying to say you can't put things on an airsoft gun. I'm just saying what some people do. So some people will put muzzle brakes on airsoft guns, and muzzle brakes actually don't do anything in airsoft at all, besides look cool. You'll have some people that will change out internals. I keep mine stock. I mean, that's got a 6.03mm tight bore aluminium barrel, metal outer barrel, and steel tooth pistons and all that Gucci stuff that was already in there when I got it. I ain't going to change anything unless it breaks. Same with this M4. It came with all the standard chisels. It didn't say that it had tight bore barrel or anything like that, so I'm just going to say it's some kind of aluminium barrel. And whatever internal, they've both got version 2 gearboxes and whatnot, and that's how everything's going to stay. They've both got stock motors. Whatever motors were in them is in them. Some people will change out mag releases. Sometimes that can be and a good thing to change, really. I have noticed that on my M4s, that one's kind of like lower down than this one. You'll see what I mean. That one sticks up a bit more. That one protrudes a bit more out of the weapon than this one. So I could argue that that actually helps me with releasing a mag, because it's easier. You're less likely to miss the button, miss that release. Yeah, I've seen on eBay and things that you can change these pins and have really cool looking pins, but why the hell would you change those? It's like £5 for 2 pins, and all it does is have like a little skull on them. It's not anything. It's not a big thing that, you know, aesthetically, that anyone's going to notice unless they really take a close look. Which I don't see the point in changing much of the small things. I will just change big things like adding sights, because A, it looks cool, and 2, they sort of have a functionality. Cocking levers, cocking handles, you can change them. I don't see why I would. I'm going to keep them how they are, because at the end of the day, it's a cocking handle. No one's really going to pay attention to that, in my opinion. I'm not going to pay attention to that even. I don't give a shit. You know. Those of you that know me, obviously, I'm serving, and I do actually like my things to look like real simulation, whatever you want to call it, milsim kind of thing. I try and keep my loadouts realistic to a certain degree. Yeah, some people go out and buy rail risers. I'm thankful that this handguard came with one built on. Although I'm not actually going to use the riser because I don't use full face protection. I just use eye pro. again, similar to real life basically, because we don't have full face protection. Well, that's a bit of a lie. We can have full face protection on the new helmets, on the Virtus helmets. They do actually have a lower and a visor, but you'll only really use them in like riot control situations. In my opinion, we haven't. Well, I don't even have a Virtus helmet at the moment. I have the Mark 7, the sort of the newer of the older helmets. But yeah, so I kind of lost track a lot there, didn't I? I apologise for that. I was talking about airsoft accessories and then started ranting, and then I lost track of where I was going, and it all just turned into a shit show. But I don't give a shit. It's going to be what it's going to be. Like you'll notice in there's a it's not a gas piston. It's the gas. Oh, what's it called? I've forgotten. But it's a mock one, and I could have left it out, but I put it back in because aesthetically it looks realistic. Obviously, I can't fit one in here, so that one doesn't actually have one. Again, change levers. You could change out change lever. I don't see the point in doing that either, really. That one works pretty well. You can hear it click into position. I could actually get my hand back from under the gun, please. Fine, suit yourself. I'm kind of stuck here, guys. Oh, there we go. Right. So yeah. And again, you probably can't hear it in that one, but it is a prominent click. And then dust covers. You can also change dust covers, but why the hell would you want to? Oh, shit, I've messed it up again. Yeah, I definitely messed it up. There we go. But anyway, I've changed the mock bolt in this one from the silver one to the black one, just because it looks a bit better. Stops it from shining so much. And as you guys know, this one actually doesn't have one, because the one that's in that is out of this. So, yeah. Along with the spring. For those of you that keep up with the channel will know I accidentally snapped 2 springs. So I couldn't have no spring for the mock bolt when it does get put in there, and I have no spring for the cocking handle, charging lever, whatever you want to call it. Everyone calls it different. I know it's a cocking handle, because on the LA5 it's a cocking handle. Americans call it charging handle, cocking lever, charging lever, whatever. It's the same thing. On here, this bayonet lug actually serves no purpose because the barrel's too small. I did put it on here, but changed my mind and put it back on that one. Although, a bayonet, you could argue... Oh, another accessory actually. Airsoft bayonet serves not much of a purpose. Some sites won't allow you to use airsoft bayonets. Some sites won't even allow you to carry them. Some sites you can have them, but some sites they're actually too big that you actually don't get close enough to the enemy to actually be able to get a knife kill or anything like that. Yeah, that's about it. I might mention that the telescoping stock is a useful kind of thing. Some people change them to fixed stocks, solid stocks, and that's fine, that's personal preference again. However, these stocks are arguably better because, obviously, you got someone who's quite tall, they'll have the stock a little bit further. I mean, I have them both like this, even on the CQE one, on that one. I have them the shortest most of the time, maybe to the first setting, but for the majority of the time, I have them both like that. Because I'm not the tallest person, I'm 5'7", so not the tallest person in the world, not got really long arms at all, so there's not much use in me having it all the way out, because it just looks a bit stupid, really. The Picatinny rails definitely come in useful in airsoft, and in the real steel world obviously, but they definitely come in useful in airsoft for mounting torches and sights and grips. the forward assists, when I say function, they actually do have a spring. But they actually don't function in any way on the bolt. They don't push it forward at all. They don't actually do anything in the way of forward assists. On the real still world, obviously they would do something. They push the bolt forward when it's not fully gone into battery, and something that when you join the British Forces, it's in your training that you actually forward assist when you cock a rifle, because the A1s, the A2s don't really have this problem. I mean, I've inserted a round directly into the chamber and then slowly pushed the cocking handle forward, because we've done covert stuff and practiced being quiet, and even then I had no malfunctions or anything. But the A1 had a tendency to not fully close the bolt, the cocking handle didn't fully go forward, and you had to forward assist, and that's got carried over into the A2 and the A3, that you always do that when putting in a fresh mag. Don't know what you Americans do when, like, during training, whether you get taught to forward assist in any way. You probably get shown the forward assist and told, obviously, how it functions and why it's there, but I doubt, obviously, you'll use it a lot. I don't think the M4 has a problem, or a regular problem, where it doesn't fully go into battery, or the bolt doesn't fully go forward or anything. That's basically it, I think, guys. I don't really have much else to say. There is something that's slightly different in the... it's not an accessory or anything, but I'm going to quickly say it. In the real steel world and the airsoft world, in the real steel world, a longer barrel, majority of the time, obviously it depends on the internals you've upgraded and whatnot, and I'm not talking about stupid, ridiculous shit, but in the real steel world, the longer the barrel, and it's not, I don't mean if you've got like a mile long barrel or anything stupid like that, I don't take it out of context, but a longer barrel supposedly will reach further than a shorter barrel. So if you've got a rifle like this, for example, this M4, you generally get a little bit more distance over the shorter barrel, obviously, because you get muzzle velocity, obviously more barrel for the round to pick up speed and everything like that. So yeah. So due to the, obviously, Mark 18 having a shorter barrel, in the real steel world, obviously I'm talking about still, it actually has its own gas, I can't even remember, so there's like, probably no point even saying it, but it has its own, like, not gas system as such, but to compensate for having a shorter barrel, but to still send the round quite far and quite accurately, they do something to the gas system inside it. I might even be correct with saying it's got its own gas system as such, but obviously a longer rifle has like longer gas system and gas piston, not piston. I keep want to say piston. I know what I mean, but I can't explain it. Well, it's going to have obviously longer gas parts and whatever, and be able to send that round further. So to make up for it, the Mark 18 has like some upgrades and things like that. And I mean, it's been a while since I've read up on stuff, but obviously I know my shit because I try to keep up with things. But the Mark 18 has like I don't even know what I was going to say. Never mind. But please, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos. When you hit subscribe, hit the bell button for notifications, and never miss a video. But stay tuned for more shit, basically. Let's just agree that my videos are majority shit. Well, I think so anyway. A lot of you obviously don't think so, because I still get the likes and the views, and you all send me messages and saying that you enjoyed it and that. But yeah. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace. Stay safe. I meant please stay safe, not peace. Please stay safe. I nearly said it again.